Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you are on a Ginger Chick Rehab, where I love to take secondhand, thrifted, pre-loved items and share the process with you how I'd get these items to be loved again. So in today's video, this is kind of a junking video. I have a habit of picking up items that others might see as junk, see as unwanted, see as unflippable, but here in the channel, I love to share with you how to give these items new life. Just because they're broken or they're huge or they have a bad paint job on them doesn't mean that they can't get some loving. So I hope I inspire you throughout this video to give those items a second glance. Now I have this lamp. You can definitely tell it was a project piece on its own. They had put some beading. I'm sure that's probably not the original beading. It was probably like crystals maybe, but I do think it's cool. Yeah, it does work. We tested it out. But the thing that I don't like about it is I think that this looks too barn-like, and that it just sticks out. Other than that, it's very cool. So what I want to do is I want to do some type of patina on this, not necessarily the inside, because I still want it to be a light where it, you know, illuminates, but this part needs a little bit of help. Oh, let's see. Take off the bulb. There. So it does screw on. So the whole light fixture must have been changed out to fit this, which is cool. But like I said, I want to keep that so it illuminates. I'm going to just patina the outside. Try to find like a color match because it's got so much coolness. So as I drop the lid, so you know, you have the rust patina that would match, and you got that purple. So yeah, let's see what we can come up with. So I'm going to start off with just getting it clean, just some Dawn dish soap and some hot water. I think that whatever's on this will just wipe right off. I don't think it's any type of staining at all. So there's not really any like scuff sanding I can do on this piece. So I'm going to be using the Dixie Belle's Prime Star as a primer to help the patina adhere properly. Plus I do like that rusty color of the Prime Star. So I'm just starting off with a big old waxing brush, which is perfect in doing a dabbing motion. Because rust and patina, I really like the texture of doing the dabbing motion. And then doing the dabbing motion versus brushing it on, I can usually get it on with one coat. Before applying my patina paint color, I need to make sure that the Prime Star is dry. So I'm just going to have the assistance of a heat gun to help me dry it. So now I'm going to move on to the patina paint in the iron. I like the rust. I have fun playing with the rust. And I'm starting off with just an old stencil brush from the Dollar Tree store that's been well loved. It's all flared out. I really like this for patinas. And I started off using it just because I wanted to get like in the rim part of it. And then I'm holding it down because I don't want it to slosh around. I don't want to get it on the bottom of this. And since that was working out so nice, instead of switching to a different brush, I just proceeded on using the same brush just to have the consistency in the dabbing motion. Now here's where the magic happens when I start to add the patina spray. So I'm going for the rust patina first, so I'm using the iron paint with the green patina spray, and I'm spraying it just a nice mist all over the entire shade. So then I set my timer for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go back in, and you can see how it starts to oxidize, starts to change.
I am going to use a paintbrush and I'm going to start dabbling on some of the yellow. I kind of have like where I want to control. I don't want to miss the whole thing. I just want to have that difference in the rust colors. So I just start off with just a paintbrush, dipping it in, dabbing it on, just random places. And then after I get it the way that I want it, what I think looks nice, I'll go ahead and mist it again just to spread out that yellow patina, the green patina spray. And about an hour into it, this is what it looks like. Oh my gosh, I just love watching the process. I really need a time lapse of watching the process. But after a few hours, this is what it turned out to be. So now I'm going to spray and seal it in with some Weather Defense Clear Coat spray. On any other project, I would have left that as is because I think it turned out beautiful. But it just was too red, too rusty to match this lamp. So luckily in my arsenal of patinas, I have this gilding wax that I think just slightly going over that other patina is really going to match what this lamp needs. And I'm sure you're wondering if I would have just put the wax right on top of that without doing any of that previous patina. Yeah, but I tried to roll it around the bottom and it really didn't stick to just the plain metal itself. But I love the texture underneath that patina so much.
An amazing architectural piece, but as is, it just is going unnoticed. So bring it back home and we are going to do some chippy paint. I tell you, chippy white paint is one of those everybody fits into their home kind of things. It hides the brokenness where some of the molding is gone. It is what it is. So it is large. It's heavy, but not terribly heavy. So we're going to get it cleaned up and I'm going to share with you how I'm going to give it more of an aged look. Cool. I mean, the the half round is awesome. The detail is awesome. The thickness, it is a big piece. Huge. I mean, yeah, as salvage pieces go, probably the biggest salvage piece I've ever done.
Being very gentle when I was cleaning this piece, so some of the pieces came loose. No problem there. I'll just go ahead and use a little bit of my CA glue, which in 15 seconds with the glue and the dryer, it will be reattached and it'll be good to go. Having all that beautiful detail, I'm not going to try to sand this piece. It's not terribly glossy, but I do want to have something to help my paint adhere to this, so I'm going to go in with a couple coats of shellac to prime it. Well, my go-to for getting that aged chippy white paint look is Flour Sack by Sweet Pickins. So I'm hoping for some crackling, some crazy, and some chippiness, even though I primed it with some shellac. Now, if you've not used Sweet Pickins milk paint, it is equal parts the powder to equal parts water. You stir it for 2 minutes, and then you set it off the side and let it thicken up for about 2 to 10 minutes. And I knew this piece was a beast. It was large. So I did 4 scoops of the milk paint, and I used it also. I guess 4 scoops is what it's going to take to do each coat. So I'll just mix 4 scoops as I go. So now I'm applying the second coat, which of course looks like it's covering, but once it dries and soaks into the wood, you know that it won't. So it ended up being a total of 4 coats to achieve the whiteness that I was looking for. Now, as it was drying, I really wasn't seeing much crackling or crazing or the look that I was hoping for. So I decided to get the heat gun out and start helping it along as it dries and look at, oh, look what it's doing. Oh my gosh, I get so excited when I see that crazing. Oh my gosh, now if I just get some chippiness. I'm going to take my orbital sander, I'm going to distress it. Yes, I did get a few spots of chippiness where it chipped right off. Yes, that's what I was going for. I would have liked a little bit more, but you know, you can't really force it too much. I could sand it down to that, but I didn't want to sand into the wood. And I definitely want to sand the details, get some of that wood from underneath showing up. And sorry about my finger being in the way, just the way that I had to sand this and hold my camera, even though I have a neck mount. I see my hand was in the way. I always try to do as much as I can with a power sander, but now I'm going back in and getting some of those detailed areas that the sander couldn't get into. I am loving on the white on this piece. I'm loving on the random distressing that the milk paint did. Now I'm just taking the air compressor, blowing off all that sanding dust because I need to seal my milk paint in. You have to seal your milk paint in. And I'm loving on the color, so I see no reason to add any dark color. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and add the Homestead clear wax to seal this in. So I picked this beautiful mirror up at an auction, and it was one of those things that I'm like, I know that it has brokenness, but the mirror's not broken. It has beveled glass mirror. It has 90% of the detailing left. And so I'm, thinking about what I would spend on it, and I'm like, how many people are going to bid against me, because there was plenty of people touching it and looking at it. But when it came time to bid against it, nobody bid against me, so it got to come home with me. I was so happy. And as is, you may see the brokenness, but paint hides a lot. So now I'm going to go ahead and tape off the entire mirror just to protect the mirror from me getting paint on it. And also I'm going to go ahead and shellac it to prime it, only because scuff sanding is kind of out of the option. There's so much beautiful detail on this mirror that I don't want to have to deal with trying to get sandpaper in there and maybe, break something off. I'm hoping that whatever's left on there is going to be stuck on there with paint. One thing about this mirror is you can see the back, so I'm going to need to tape off, make a nice clean edge for the part of the mirror that bevels out at the angle that you're going to be able to see, because I'm going to need to paint that also. And then I am not going to be reusing this hanging system, so we'll go ahead and get these wires cut off. I'll put something that's a little bit stronger, a little bit weight appropriate. Yeah, sometimes you just hang with what you have. So, and I would like to clean that back up just a little bit. I've done many mirrors like this, and I've always painted them white chippy. But I decided when I was flipping through my paint colors to go with Old Olive. You know, you just go with that intuition. And I'm like, okay, stepping out of my comfort zone here. We'll see how Old Olive, which I love this color, looks. Go ahead and start off with my backside, because if I would start off with the front, as you can see, I would be rolling it over and then hitting my fresh paint. Now the back of this is more of a raw wood, even though I did seal it in also with some shellac, just using a smaller brush, trying to get into those detailed areas. Try not to have a lot of paint on my brush, because I don't want to have it like dripping and running onto the other side and then having to deal with that. After I did 2 coats on the back, now I can flip it over, and I think I'm going to stick with the same little brush, because I think that I can get into, look at all that detail that I have to get into. Now, it's just going to be one of those areas that I think the paint's probably going to pull on me more than I want it to. But that's okay, because it'll probably get more of that crackling crazing, I'm hoping. I don't know. So, you know, milk paint is unpredictable. You can help it along with heating, but it kind of does its thing with what it wants to do. I gave the mirror 2 coats of Old Olive, and now I'm going in with some of the Fusion's aging wax to bring out the detail. So whatever's going to chip off is going to chip off while I'm using the waxing brush. So I'm going to wax on, and then I will take a shop cloth with just kind of like a paper towel, but a little bit thicker where it doesn't leave any lint and it's stronger. You buy them in like a box of 1,000 at like your, I bought it at Menards, I think. But yeah, so wipe on, get it into the detailed areas, and then I'll go ahead and take that cloth, and then I'll try to wipe off the excess, and then I'll take a dry waxing brush and try to get out any of the other details, so there's not so much that, I mean, this is a lot of detail to get into, and I don't want to leave like clumps of wax in that detail. So as you see, some of it is chipping off, and that's exactly what I'm going for. Some aged, perfectly imperfect piece. It's got that brokenness, so let's make the paint look like it's been on there for a long time also. Now I know I aged the piece, but I'm not going to leave this back unfinished, and it was well worth the time to tape off and keeping that wood nice and clean and trying to have a straight line like that. But now I cut a piece of contractor's paper to cover up the back where you can see all the nails and protect that back a little bit more. I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue it on. Contractor's papers come in rolls, the same you buy them at hardware stores or places like that, and just cut off a piece to make it nice and clean. But a little bit of hot glue will keep it on there, and then when I get it all 4 edges done, then I just take some sandpaper and then just kind of run it back and forth so it will cut the edge and make it nice and clean. One thing I like to do when mirrors are not completely square, or there's, you know, like there's not a rounded top, that give them a couple different ways to hang the mirror. So if I'm adding new hardware, why not take that extra step and then just add a couple more pieces to make it a little bit more versatile. So I don't know what it is about cubbies, but my obsession for cubbies is strong. I absolutely love them. I usually don't care what shape they are in. Now this one, the paint job is not complete. And I usually love patina, but I don't know, that's a little questionable what that patina is. And like I said, the paint job is not complete. So as a reseller, somebody who's looking to flip it, I think that somebody necessarily for what you would probably charge for this piece would like it to be a little bit better paint job. That not necessarily do they want to come into an antique mall and have to paint something. So that's where I come in. So, oh my gosh, if you all love cubbies like I do, please give me a comment down below because I have a hard time passing them up. When it comes to the paint color, I've already power washed this piece, so this is as clean as it's going to get. So I don't know what the residue is. A lot of times cubbies were used in a workshop, so they might have grease on them or anything like that. So I'm not going to do a drastic color change. I'm going to look in my paints, I'm going to see what I have. And cherry pie, I think, comes very close to the color of what this is. So if it chips off, if it crackles and crazing, it'll just be a hue off. It's not going to be an exact match, but that's why I'm picking cherry pie. It's funny, not like funny, haha, but for as much as I love cubbies, I hate painting inside cubbies. It is not the easiest job. Luckily, these holes are big enough that my hand can fit into, but man, you hit your knuckles. You're trying to get all the way to the bottom. You're going to have to use a long-handled brush. But my love of cubbies and making this piece be the best that it can be overrules my, like, I really don't like to paint the inside of cubbies. Oh, that's what we do. We complain about something, but we do it anyway. So I'm pretty much doing color on color. It's kind of a close match. One coat. I just did one coat because look I have to flip it over and get the top side now. So I think one coat is going to be plenty. Oh, more of the inside. So I find it the easiest way, like trying to do cubbies like this, is just to keep flipping it from side to side. So I'm not trying to do weird angles with my hand. So finally all painted, and now I'm going to take my orbital sander, and this is where you'll be able to see the color on color. So the cherry pie is lighter than the original, like a burgundy color was going on, but I like that because I really think it's going to give it that vintage age antique look that this piece has been painted and it's been around for a long time. So I've just got some 220 sandpaper. I'm not trying to take it all the way down to the raw wood. I just want to bring back that wonderful chippy aged patina. I didn't get any crackling, crazing. I didn't shellac it or anything like that. I didn't use a heat gun. I just let the paint soak right in because I felt as if I could distress it using the orbital sander. But my orbital sander does not fit inside the cubby, so I do have to take some 220 sandpaper. And yep, there again, I've got to sand all 4 sides of the inside of this cubby. I didn't even count how many cubby holes there were. You just do a project until it's complete. That's just how we roll. I do love being able to have a workshop with the air compressor, because then I can just blow that sanding dust all over the place and sweep it up after I'm done with the project. So, yep, got it all sanded. And now we're going to bring it back to life using some of the JOLIE's black wax. I really do want an aged look, so this is going to look a little scary, like I'm painting this black, but yes, I'm rubbing the JOLIE's black wax right on top of the cherry pie, straight on. So then I will take some of the Homestead Clear Natural Wax on another rag and then start to wipe it off, trying to blend it in. Now there's different ways you can add wax to get the patina you're looking for, but I really wanted to have that salvaged dirt aged look to the cherry pie color. So I went right for it with that black wax. As I said, it looks a little bit scary at first, but the nice thing about a clear wax is it's kind of your eraser, and you can start toning it and tweaking it the way you want it to look. What I did to the outside, yes, I do. I have to go in and do all those cubbies. It'll be beautiful when it's done. The vision will be beautiful. So same, a little bit of black, a little bit of clear, and rub it in until it looks beautiful. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and have I inspired you? Yes, the big mirror that was broken, so what? You know, do I try to refix it? I'm never going to get my dollar value out of it. So just paint it, make it chippy, make it even look older with a new paint job. And I'm glad that I rerouted myself from thinking I needed to do white to doing that olive color. It is absolutely gorgeous. And then we got the cubbies that I absolutely hate painting the inside of cubbies, only because I always end up hitting my knuckles and you have to get down and get all those little crevices with a long brush. But I do it because I love cubbies. Other people love cubbies. Yes, that paint job just, it wasn't complete. It didn't look old and vintage enough. And yeah, with Sweet Pickins milk paint and some black wax, we can make it look old and vintage. And what about that huge arch? Oh my gosh, yes, there again. Huge, unpainted, nobody really wanted it at the auction, but I knew that if I chippied it and it looked like more of a salvaged piece, that somebody will definitely love it. And I think that I hit on the nail of matching up that patina to that lamp. Now the Rusty Crusty, I thought, oh, you know, I might, yeah, keep it that way, but I knew that I had a more of a bronze color that would match up. I absolutely love it. So give me a quick comment down below which of the items I made over today were your favorites, and if I have inspired you in any way to look at secondhand finds, pre-loved junk pile items in a new way. And again, thanks for watching, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out this channel for the first time, and you enjoyed watching today's video, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.